All right, everybody, welcome back. Sam's Army International Break number 3. We still got a lot to talk about, though. We're going to start with the Premier League, where we will hit a City versus Liverpool post-mortem, Black Cats, Black Magic, plus Tottenham and United somehow both pulling defeat from the jaws of victory this weekend. Halftime will be a Premier League-related pop quiz. Around the world, we will give you a quick primer on the U.S. men's national team, what we're looking at coming over the next, 2 weeks, I guess, and then stoppage time with Ivan Toney's best bets and everyone's favorite segment, GOAWs. Now, time to welcome in this week's panel of beauties, and it is the same intro question for both of you because we were all together for the first time ever in history this past weekend at Tyler's wedding. Now, I know some of you guys probably don't want to hear more about Tyler's wedding, but here's the thing: we were just together for the first time in years and years and years. So give us this one thing, give us this one more intro question, and then we'll let it go at least until Tyler's on again. So, you guys, give us your. We'll go with Mikey Fowler first. Give us your highlight or your one shining moment from the wedding weekend.
The thing I'll take away the most, Sam, and thank you for asking, is just how drunk you were. I don't know if anybody out there is listening.
That's not true.
If you've ever woken up with anxiety before, just picture that on 100 billion trillion. Sam was saying things that would get us all canceled. And if you really want to know the answers, my Venmo is open. If you send me $5, I'll reply with one thing he said.
See, this is the thing about you, Mikey. You are one of the best liars I know, and sometimes I have to call you out on that because listen, we all had a couple little adult beverages.
Only one of us was soaking wet by the end of the night.
Now that's true. But what I was trying to do was hydrate with a water bottle, and somebody, I'm not going to name names, squeezed the water bottle all over my face and onto my suit and everything like that. And his name was Mikey, by the way, but just for the record. I got to fight back a little bit here, but that was well played. I'll give you that. That was well played. All right, so we got one shining moment / one.
My low light was getting my ass kicked in bags by Tommy McCabe, who might be the greatest cornhole player in the world. So,
unbelievable coordination.
Yeah, it's really fucking annoying.
Yeah. He was pretty good. I was a happy beneficiary of his bag skills, which are considerable. I'll give him that. Yeah. All right, Mitch, you're up. What do you got? One shining moment, Tyler Terran's nuptial wise.
Oh, apart from you guys calling it bags, which is wrong. I'll be sappy. I just enjoyed having us all there together. This is the first time I had even met Tommy McCabe in person. And he's even more glowing than he is on the internet. It was just cool. Like, we all came away from this weekend being like, God, we need to hang out more. We need to be IRL a little bit more. So I think in 2026, we should aim for a Sam's Army meetup of some sort. I don't know if that's a golf tournament, a watch party, a 7-on-7 game. I don't care where it is. I will travel. But I know that you guys, the followers, would have a hell of a time hanging out with us. Because let's face it, we're awesome. We're great. And we just all had like a great weekend. And to Mikey's point, if you Venmo me $4, I'll tell you something Mikey said this weekend. So,
no.
I like that way better. Well done. You stole my thunder on the meetup. I'll get back to that in just 1 second. First, I have to address John in the Discord chat asking if I skip my flight. Now, I never skip flights. I do miss flights on occasion, but this time Mrs. Army was in tow, so I didn't have that option.
Who is a real human person, by the way. He
Right,
wasn't
guys,
lying. She doesn't go to a different school. She's real.
She's not from Canada. She doesn't live in Canada. She's a real person. She's a very lovely, lovely lady, and she does not allow me to miss flights. So, no, I unfortunately did not. Well, not unfortunately. I fortunately did make both my flights on time, although the 2 flights out of Cincinnati back to Chicago directly after mine on Saturday were both canceled. So, that was a little too close for comfort. Now, my quick one shining moment from the wedding, really quickly, I was stunned by how much Tyler looks like his dad, and Tyler's new bride looks exactly like her mom. So when they have kids, they got some strong genes on both sides, and it's going to be really interesting to see who actually wins out. I love
Adam
the
F
fake
has
quotes.
absolutely
Yeah.
smoked you there.
I,
I
I
love the
can't
fake
I
quotes.
can't actually say the words I would rather say than that sentence.
Listen, the Discord chat is going. Everybody get in the Sam's Arm Patreon. You can get in the Sam's Arm Discord, and you can get in the Sam's Arm Discord chat for a live chat during the episodes. And Mitch did steal my thunder, but what I was going to say as my promo this week was it was incredible hanging out with everybody on the pod, and I think it would be even better if we actually had
With no
a
girlfriends.
Discord meet up with or without plus ones. Probably better without plus ones. And so let's try and make that happen in 2026. But for you guys to get in on the exclusive action, you got to get in on the Sam's Army Patreon and get in the Discord. And by the way, I mean, just being in the Discord itself is so much fun. It's just a cool little community of soccer sickos. The best one on the planet, I would hazard to suggest. All right. Premier League time. So we only have a recap. We don't have a weekend to look forward to, unfortunately, this week. But we have some interesting games here. So I think City and Liverpool was the one that everybody had eyes on. There were obviously a lot of other games, but we'll get to those later. Let's start with the big one. City won 3-0. Obviously, that score line is rather controversial. There was a lot of talk about the Virgil van Dijk headed goal that was not eventually given due to Andy Robertson being judged to be offsides. So Liverpool fans and over 3.5 bettors, of which I might be one of, did not like that. But anyway, let's talk about the game itself. Mikey, what did you come away with? Did we learn anything from this game?
Sure did. Sure did. The major takeaway here, other than it's really upsetting that the goal was chalked off, robbed us of not only a good game, but also of the discourse that should surround the match, and that's City and how impressive they were. I do believe the goal should have stood, just if that point didn't sound clear. City were impressive. Doku, I think we were raving about him to each other, certainly in the Discord, about when he picks the ball up and sees 2-3 bodies in front of him, he still felt strong enough to attack and go forward and make something happen almost virtually every time he touched the ball. His touch comp on X or Twitter was just unbelievable. He was such a great player, and I think that's the thing I'll remember the most about this match. And then the other major takeaway just for me is Liverpool never got into first gear, never even really started going. That midfield that won them the title last season of Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Gravenberch just didn't look to be functioning the way they were prior. And I do think that comes from the ball not sticking up front. I think Salah they're desperate for him to go to AFCON and clear his head and come back at this point. He's in an absolute rut, and the ball's not sticking up front. Ekitike is not the type of player that keeps the ball and wins the ball for you. And Liverpool were chasing shadows for 75, 80 minutes of that. And it was a sight to behold for sure. City are clicking and Liverpool are not.
Yeah, as John in the chat said, and was going to be my point, my big takeaway was that City is my one hope this season. If anybody's going to catch Arsenal, it does seem like City's going to be the club. Mitch, what do you think?
Yeah, echo that point in particular. That's kind of what I took away, is that City are in second right now. They are the one club that is going to give us trouble all season. They look consistent. They look like they're confident in how they want to go and play. That scoreline is probably not super reflective of the game as a whole. Liverpool did have chances, but it doesn't look cohesive, and Liverpool are usually way more comfortable without the ball than they were in this game. City just suffocated them. City's counter press looked really good, and I think they just took chances when they got there. Doku's phenomenal. Doku's a top 5, maybe 3 winger in the league when he's on his day. The dude just dribbles at players and causes issues. Yeah, City are now the second best team in the league. And with AFCON coming up, as Mikey mentioned, I don't think Liverpool are going to help. I don't think that's going to help them.
No, I think Mikey, he was making a joke, but I think he did make a good point. Mo Salah was booty cheeks that entire game. I cannot believe he made it in 90 minutes, and he needs to sit and just think about what he's been doing, because it's not good.
Something we kind of brought up a little bit last season was that he would ghost for 80 minutes in a game and then come up with a spectacular moment in the 85th, and his score for the game would be saved, and the perception of what he was for that game would be saved. Is it simply that he's not coming up with those moments anymore, or is he really a step below where he was last season?
I think he's a step below. And because if you actually watch him, he looked, at least in that City game, he just looked defeated. Like he knew he wasn't going to run by anybody. He wasn't going to. There was one chance that he had that if he could have trapped the ball right, he would have had it been in on a goal, and he just sort of mistouched it, which is just so unlike him. To me, he is just, whether it's mental or physical, I think probably both at the moment. I mean, listen, he's no spring chicken, but he's also clearly in kind of some sort of mental rut as well. I really do think he needs to take a step back and sort of just refresh and restart. Because I don't think he's as bad as he's been lately. He's been useless. He was absolutely useless against City today, or this weekend. But instead
Can I
of
give a quick?
yeah,
Can I give a quick shout out to Pep?
Sure.
I think you got it. I think you got it completely correct. I thought there was a lot of discussion about the fullbacks and what he was going to do there. Nico O'Reilly is not known for his defensive prowess. Trust me, I understand. But just playing an attack-minded left-sided fullback instead of playing Vardiol there allowed for City to really pin them in. And Salah really never got going down that side. That side was completely dominated when the ball was at Doku's feet or when O'Reilly was overlapping, anything like that. You never saw the offensive actions from the Liverpool players on that side. So I think Pep got it really right. I have very well documented my take on Ryan Cherky, but I think that I just think that was probably the one place I would have gone differently. But obviously opting for the control players and Cherky, Foden, and Doku had City just all over Liverpool. Yeah. Every ball, every second ball. So I think you got it right.
Everybody on City seemed like they outplayed every single player on Liverpool, with the one exception of Cherky, who had a bit of a howler in the first half and basically got yanked immediately in the second half after he basically had a 3-on-2 breakaway and he just shot directly into the defender. Doku, by the way, oh my God, that guy, when he wants to be, he is just incredible. I know that his
7 of 8 on dribbles.
But so that's always been the thing with him, right? Though it's the dribbling he can do. It's the final pass. It's the finish that he always gets sort of hung up on. And now, to be fair, he scored. He scored a goal. So, or was that
3 shots on target?
Yeah, he scored a goal. And he created the penalty. So I mean, he was by far the most influential player on the field. But there's some days where he's just a bad cross, a bad shot, blah, blah, blah. But today, or that day, my God, he was a bad man. City, good. Liverpool, I think you make a great point about the Liverpool's midfield just looking so off of it, especially with City not having Rodri and them still being able to do what they did. That's not a good sign, I don't think, for Liverpool. All right. Well, Tyler's not here to defend himself. I'm sure he'll have some thoughts.
He probably agrees with everything.
Listen, it is Rodri, by the way. Sons of guns. All right. Other results. Other results that probably bear some sort of mentioning here. Sunderland, 2-2 draw with Arsenal. Spurs, similarly, 2-2 draw with United. Different feeling coming away from that from a Spurs fan's perspective than a Sunderland fan. But let's start with Sunderland Arsenal. They went up early. Arsenal do what they tend to do and sort of dominated the game, came back, went up 2-1. I really thought that was probably going to be it. And then that Brian Brobby finish. I loved the finish. I loved Gabriel whining his little balls off about it. You can't put your head down that low, buddy. Come on. But I just love the finish. And then the fact that Arsenal didn't score, was it Marino? I can't remember who had the shot in 5 minutes into extra time when there was only 6 minutes going to be played. Somebody had a shot directly in the middle of the goal.
Oh, Calafiori.
It was Calafiori.
Calafiori
okay.
into Marino. Yeah.
Oh man, 97% of the time Arsenal scores that and wins the game. I've seen that movie so many times. I knew that. I really believed that was what was going to happen. And the fact it didn't. I mean, Sunderland is just getting some breaks, you know? I mean, they're making their own breaks. I don't want to take
Yeah.
anything away from them. But man, Sunderland's getting the breaks. I love to see it. Anyway, but from an Arsenal fan perspective, Mitch, what did you come away from?
Sunderland is a club that makes their own luck. Every single point that they've gotten this season, they've earned, and they probably could have more if they've gotten some more, breaks, as we say. Sunderland are a good team, and they're going to stay up. I am not disappointed with this point, or as disappointed as I think maybe the table would insist. But I mean, it's a tough place to go and play. We don't have to go there later in the season, and I think Sunderland are going to give a bunch of other clubs of our stature real problems if they host them. The game itself, Sunderland made us pretty uncomfortable this entire game. We never really felt like we were getting into a rhythm and getting into flow of possession, which we like to do, and suffocate teams within the first 30 minutes. That just wasn't us. Sunderland really chopped up the game well. For this game, I was stuck in Cincinnati after Tyler's wedding, and I was like, oh, where should I go? Should I go to a bar for this? Should I just hang out in the hotel lobby? I decided to take some recreational marijuana and lay on the lawn across the hall or across the street from my hotel, and I just laid in the grass and with a laptop that was connected to the hotel Wi-Fi. And it was a really nice experience. I encourage you all to do that if you get the chance. It was a beautiful day in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I just can't think of a better way to spend it. The only thing that would have made that day better was 3 points.
Fair point. I really like Cincinnati, by the way. Just a complete
dude.
non-sequitur.
I walked around for hours because I had nothing to do. My flight wasn't until the ass crack of midnight, and I walked around that city for hours. It's a beautiful, quaint little city. Love a Midwest charm.
Lots of little rolling hills in the city, and then you got the rivers and everything. I'm a fan of Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
John actually asked an interesting question. If I can press on it. Sunderland finish higher than Newcastle, ? Mikey, any thoughts?
I think no. Listen, there's a couple things that I want to say that support that. Sunderland don't, as many newly promoted clubs don't, I'm not calling them out specifically, don't really have an attacking threat or a playmaker aside from set piece delivery to Dan Ballard at this point, who looks like the target center back for them. He's been outstanding in the air, and he's generating just an amazing amount of XG for his club from the center back position. They're going to struggle. I disagree with Mitch slightly in that I'd rather go to Sunderland at the end of the year. This seems like a team that's found a real identity in the nitty gritty, and just a couple of statistics from the game. I mean, Arsenal missed 3 big chances, 17 shots, had 65% of the ball. Only 2 corners allowed by Sunderland. I really do believe that this is a game that, when you look back on a season, it's just going to be one of those fluky, a couple knockdowns, a couple moments here and there. Sunderland scrap a point. Unbelievable atmosphere. They rode the intensity of that in every duel. But that's not a game that you come away thinking you were disappointed in Arsenal. I think the response to go ahead in the second half is telling from that team. I really saw something that we haven't seen in Arsenal past in the response and the resilience of the second half performance. When that final goal goes in for Sunderland, it doesn't feel like a defeat as it normally would to a newly promoted side. It felt like and breathe. Okay, we got a point. Holy fuck, get me out of there. It's not, which is the highest compliment I can pay to a promoted side like Sunderland. But I do think they will struggle as this season stretches itself out, as 38 match weeks do to newly promoted sides. They really don't have a player to generate enough going forward for them. I think they're in real trouble there. The 38-point number is obviously within reach. They're halfway there at this point. But I'd be, they're going to need to pick up some points where they can.
Okay. I mean, that goes for a lot of the newly promoters. I don't want to even switch gears quite yet. But Leeds and their offense is, if we're talking about a newly promoted team that can't score goals and is going to have a problem, I have some serious concerns about where Leeds is going this season.
Of course.
Now, quickly on the Newcastle versus Sunderland, I mean, if I was a politician, I would just sort of switch gears and give the soliloquy that I kind of want to give about Sunderland and where they are right now. I do think Newcastle is at a point right now that they're kind of at rock bottom. They hit that, they got a red card. So I think that helped them lose that game against Brentford. No question about it. They're dealing with a lot of injuries, Livramento, obviously, Wissa, Gordon. I mean, they've got a lot of guys that are missing. Then you go down to 10 men losing Dan Burn. That was just that game itself. Like, I think Newcastle is, I've said this before, I do think they're going to be on the way up, even though I keep saying that and they keep not going up. But I do think that they are going to make their way up. Sunderland, I do think there's going to be, I hate even saying it, there's going to be kind of a reversion of the means, of sort of expected means anyway. But the one thing I will say is that this team, like this club, was relegated twice in the last decade. They were playing in League One. And now, within, 6, 7, 8 years, they are fighting against the one and only right now Premier League title favorite, and holding their own. Like the turnaround is incredible. And I do think, like, as a fan of a club who's learned, you need to find these moments and find these periods where things are going well and enjoy them. Like, Sunderland fans have got to just be loving the hell out of this right now. So Declan's Dave, my friend who's a Sunderland fan, sent me a text with a picture of the table with some danglies on Tottenham the other day. So listen, I totally respect that move. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how it goes. Depth is usually a problem for teams like this. And as you said, scoring is as well. But man, I hope they revel in where they are right now, because it's well-deserved and well-earned. This is not fluky at all. All right.
Quietly, nobody had a worse transfer window than Newcastle. I think the signings they made and the investment players like Anthony Elanga for £47 million is looking quite steep. Jacob Ramsey for 42. Vissa, who has yet to debut. That's a lot of money. A lot of Isak money spent on. It reminds me of the Spurs Kane money. It might look back at it in a similar way.
Yeah, it's probably just a symbol of, or reflective of, desperation. They thought they were going to be able to keep Isak. They were not. And then they're like, oh shit, what are we going to do?
Yeah, those are not players. Those are not Champions League players, in my opinion, and to match the dreams of that club. No. Yeah.
Fair enough. United and Spurs, 2-2.
Oh.
What a game. This
What a fun one.
Talk about a hangover helper. This did not help. I'll be honest with you. This is not the kind of game I wanted to get up and watch. Spurs stunk. We stunk for 99% of that game. And this was like one of the it would have been an ultimate smash and grab. So having, the fact that we scored 2 essentially, at the end, right at the death, or so much I thought, and then Richarlison doing what he does and celebrating too much, taking his shirt off and blah, blah, blah. When De Ligt scored that goal, I honestly wasn't even mad. I was like, yeah, you know what? We deserve that. We didn't even deserve a point from this. So the fact that we are going home with a point, like, I guess I'll take it. It felt bad. It felt sad. I felt frustrated, disappointed, all that stuff. But we stunk. The more important sort of point here is we continue to stink. we are bad. We are a bad team, at least at home in the Premier League right now, and I don't really have any answers for it, other than needing guys like Solanke and Kulusevski and Madison back. 2 of those, the first 2, I believe, we're getting back, I think, soon after the break. So that will be very nice to actually have a 9. We're talking about Newcastle's difficulty holding the ball up and everything. I think that's kind of an issue we've had as well. But yeah, we stink. We're just bad. I don't even know what to say. I'm sad. November 10th, the Spurs depression has taken firm hold. It has, Adam. We're bad. We're just a bad team. Now, you guys want to get any shots in, or give United some credit, or maybe not give United some whatever the opposite of credit is?
Tag me in. There's a couple different ways that you could look at the state of your Spurs season right now. You could say we're bad. The on-field product is really disappointing. We didn't look better than Manchester United, who's in a piece of shit area right now. Or you can look at it as we're going into an international break. We've got big players coming back from injury, and we're fifth in the table, and we don't look good. So I think there's a small light at the end of the tunnel for you guys, and maybe you are on a path forward. But I do agree that it's pretty bad. But when the United 3-game winning streak was going on, and this is before they drew to Forest, and they had Forest and Spurs left on their schedule, I said to somebody, if I could bet my life savings on that Spurs game being a draw, even if they beat Forest, if they lost to Forest, it doesn't matter. I just knew that Spurs game would be a draw, and I kind of wish it was the fifth and final game for them, because that would have just been so sweet. Yeah, you could read this one from a mile away. I didn't watch this game at all, so I'm kind of just taking your word for it that you guys didn't look good. But I think you're in fifth. It's okay to enjoy that, but fuck you.
Yeah, that's fair. Listen, John in the chat said I vividly remember Sam backing Ange up until like February when we were in like 12th place. Actually, probably lower than that, 15th place, 16th place. And you're right. That's something to keep in mind. Like, as bad as we've been, well, if you look at the table, it's hard to argue where we're at right now. So fair point. I got a little caught up in my negativity there. Thank you, John, for bringing me back to reality. But we need to pick it up. I think the international break comes at a good time for us and Arsenal. By the way, you guys will benefit from this.
I don't like you putting us in that conversation.
Yeah, don't group us in with you.
How about the fact that just 1 week prior to today, I sat on this very broadcast and praised how Amarim found something with Ahmad playing at right wing back ahead of a Mazraoui or a Dallo. And what does he do? Is he go ahead and starts Mazraoui and plays Cunha at the 9 instead of playing him as a floating 10 next to Mbeumo, and everything fucking stalls out. I know Ahmad had his assist. I know everything, but you can just tell that the central striker for them does a lot. That's Sesko. I mean, it's a baffling decision. Tottenham have not been good at home. Playing Cunha at the 9 is just an experiment that needs to go away for Amarim and United. He needs to play off of a 9 like Sesko. And Mazraoui and Dallo need to get a fucking job or go to Serie A or something, because I think that they are holding this team back.
I missed some of that, but that was a good finish.
It's ridiculous.
All right. There is one other, maybe two others that we have to touch on quickly. Villa and Bournemouth. I said coming into this game, this is going to kind of be a sort of a proving grounds game of sorts for Bournemouth, coming off that loss to City. Suffice to say, they did not pass the test, the sniff test, the eye test, any of it. There were some issues there. They had Tyler Adams and Adam Smith basically just bashing their heads together in like the 10th minute, and Smith had him go off. Tyler, I assume that does not help. I assume he must have been okay because he continued to play, but that type of collision could have some, that could affect your play for the rest of the game. So that happening to your two center midfielders in the 10th minute of the game, that's not great. That's not great. But here's the real thing: Aston Villa, they're pretty good. Like this Aston Villa team is quite good. I was very impressed. Like just watching them, I was like, this is not necessarily Bournemouth being bad. This is like Villa it can be a problem on their day. But Bournemouth was playing a style that I remember when Tottenham played them, they were so in our face, suffocating, did not let us do anything. And they didn't have any of that in this game. And so I don't know if it's like they've pulling the Ange thing and they've gotten tired or what, but they just didn't look like the same team. So it is slightly troubling.
I also remember noting that intensity of that press when we played them early in the season, and I just said that press is going to give lesser teams a hell of a lot of trouble. And in the past couple weeks that I have watched them, it hasn't been near the intensity that they came out of the gates with. So maybe that's just like natural fatigue as the season goes along. But they need to get back to that because that is a really, really exciting way to play, and it could have resulted in a hell of a lot of goals for them.
Yeah. Yes, they were so hard when we played. I was like, how this team looks like a Champions League quality team. They did not look like that against City last week, and they definitely did not look at it like that against Villa this week. So maybe speaking of teams that probably are not too disappointed that the international break hit, I think Bournemouth. It's got to be near the
I
top
think
of the
you're
list
right there.
as well. All right. So I've been sitting on this take waiting for Mikey to be on. Leeds, this brings me no pleasure. Leeds is going down. Like they do not look like a team that's going to stick around. Their offense is atrocious. Like I said, I hope Larry and TJ aren't listening. I do not want them to go down, but man. So, as the resident Leeds defender, Mikey, do you got anything to say for them?
Yeah. You go into the season, a newly promoted season, you back a manager who, by all accounts, was out the door, and it just creates a level of, I think, distrust in the signings and the strategy. And to only go into the season with a free signing of Dominic Calvert-Lewin as your striking improvement is not enough right now. Do you want to guess who their top goal scorer is?
Own goal?
No, he plays for them.
Okay.
It's Joe Rodon. Joe Rodon
I
is
never
leading Leeds
in a
United.
million years would have guessed that.
Yeah, leading Leeds United 11 match weeks into the season in goals. Listen, there's a real clear strategy here. They have adults who defend well, and they have a tough place to play. It's investment, and it's goal scoring. It's a creative playmaker. It's goal scoring. I don't care if you have to spend 40, 50 to take two gambles. The fact that they didn't invest in the summer tells you something. It tells you what they were trying to build. It's clearly not enough. I think everybody can see that. So the investment into the striking options and the attacking threats needs to happen. I think it's very obvious. It's one of the more frustrating teams in the Premier League right now because I think everyone would agree that they are grown men who are tough to break down and they have a really good defensive structure. There's absolutely no hope of scoring goals up front.
Well, January is coming. I guess
They need it to be coming.
They do. So I have a bad feeling about Leeds. This is next question. Same question, different club. A club that I did not have a bad feeling about until maybe 2 weeks ago, and that's Fulham. So they lost to Everton 2-0. It was a pretty consummate loss. Is there a chance that Fulham could be relegation fodder? Is that a possibility?
Man, you look at that back four, and yeah, the short answer is yes, absolutely. I don't think they do anything at a really high level right now. I don't think that they listen. Sander Berge and Lucic are probably the strength of this team right through the middle with Joachim Anderson, who's a professional. Calvin Bassey, who had his moments earlier in the season, but aside from those four, I don't think any of those players get me out of bed. And they've got some young talent. I think Josh King's good. Chukwueze's shown he can play. But they're going to be right around 40 points, 35 to 40 points. So some seasons they'll be up, some seasons they won't.
They need Jedi back.
I think they bite your fucking hand off for 38 right now.
The way it's going, I don't disagree. All right. What are the games? So the other ones were Brentford, Newcastle, which you kind of talked about. That red card really changed things. Newcastle didn't look great before then, though. So shout out to Brentford. They actually, they look like a decent team. I was worried about them. They look decent. West Ham won a game they needed to win.
Huge.
They needed that bad. Wolves just, my God, they stink.
That's not a Premier League team. It's not even fucking close.
No, they're so bad. I mean, we should have seen this coming. Maybe we did see this coming with how little sort of investment they made after selling so many true Premier League players.
Yeah,
but it's sad. I feel bad for their fans. They really probably don't deserve this. John asked Rob Edwards to Wolves. Have they announced that? They haven't announced
Yeah.
that yet, right? It's official.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's an
He's
interesting
there.
move.
Yeah, he's
That's an
there.
interesting move.
they sold all their goals in the summer.
Yeah.
Jimenez, Cunha, they sold anybody that can produce for them, really.
Think about the last like 2 or 3 summers, though. They've just been decimated by sales. I mean, there's got to be a discussion here about whether Rob Edwards, who was at Middlesbrough, and it seems like they're going to go up this season, whether he should have taken this job. Like, it just seems like putting yourself in a tough spot. Basically,
I'd take it in FM. I'd take it in FM.
Yeah, you're a sicko though.
I mean,
Is there? I mean,
zeros.
what does success look like for him? They're on 2 points right now, with absolutely no path to even like 18th, let alone staying up. Like
2.7 goals scored in 11 games.
Man,
No, yeah.
Jeez. I mean, no wonder what's his name, Strand Larson was so pissed. He didn't get
Highest
that
goals
move.
against, lowest goals for. It is an absolute disaster.
Oh, the last games 3-0, 3-0, 3-4 against Chelsea. That must have been a cup game, right?
Cup game, EFL Cup,
yeah.
yes.
2-3 Burnley, 2-0 or 0-2 Sunderland. Wow, they are just a bad team right now. And then speaking of bad, that game, Brighton and Crystal Palace. that was a bad
I watched
game.
90 minutes of that.
How
That was
did
my
you
game
do
I
it?
watched.
How did you
That's
sit
my
through
game
that?
I watched for that whole window.
That was a bad game. It was like two like boxers waiting for somebody else to throw a
It was
punch.
stunning. It was stunning.
Nobody did anything.
I watched the whole thing.
Oh, you made it. You're a stronger man than me. I didn't make it that far. All right, so quick question. Looking at the table now, after 11 games, we have Arsenal in first by 4 points. We have Sunderland in fourth, Liverpool in eighth, Newcastle in 14th, and then the bottom 3 right now, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and Wolves in that order. Mikey, what's the biggest surprise of the season for you?
It's Liverpool. You can't have that level of investment into a title-winning side, retain the manager, and tell me that this isn't completely shocking.
Yeah.
I'm not, listen, don't get fucking mad at me, everyone out there, that I'm hating on your club. I'm just saying, there were a lot of conversations about like, holy fuck, look at Isak and Ekatike and all the Verts, and Verts cost 150. You spent 150 million euros on him. You bought Isak in that same window. Ekatike, the 100 million pound striker, and you've got 5 losses to your first 11 games in the Premier League. That's by far the story of the league so far.
When you put it like that, it's hard to argue. I gotta be honest. It is hard to argue. I do think that the players, these individual players, especially Isak and Verts, I think they will come good, and so I'm enjoying getting the shots in now while we can. But man, they've been so bad. Mitch, what do you think?
That's a really compelling elevator pitch to why they're the biggest disappointment. I can't argue with it. I've said this before on this program about how much Verts confuses me as a footballer. He's so talented in tight spaces. He's individually extremely gifted, and he can get his way. He can dribble through in a phone booth. But there were a couple instances where one pass into Ekatike, well, I guess lack thereof, really, was so shocking. I had to like text people about a missed pass. I was like, was this on purpose? What was he trying? I couldn't even see what he was trying to do there. And that's your 150 million pound playmaker that you signed? He looks like a deer in headlights when he has space in front of him, which is not what you want your center attacking mid to do. I'm just confused about him as a player. I kind of disagree. I don't think he's going to come good. I think this is kind of who he is as a player. He's an excellent dribbler, but as a passer, even back at Leverkusen, that wasn't his strength. He's a playmaker, but not a passer, and I don't really know how to distinguish between those two terms. I'm really confused, and if I were a Liverpool fan and I had to watch him with the ball at his feet week in and week out, I would be tearing my hair out. I dropped him from FPL. I don't put money on him. He is such a confusing player to watch play.
You're not wrong. I dropped him from my FPL as well quite a few weeks ago. He has been very, very frustrating, but having watched him at Bayer, having seen some of the things he can do with the ball, I really do think he's going to come good. Now, will he come good 150 million? That's asking a lot, but I guess we'll see on that. Good pitch, Mikey. Adam gave you the best take of the month
Tim
award
Everton
there.
fan.
Yeah.
Good point. All right. Well, we've given Sunderland their flowers, but we do have to. The fact they're in fourth place after 11 good games,
Mhm.
like they say, don't look at the table until 10 games at least. We're 11 in, and they're in fourth place. That's incredible. All right. We are not going to do power rankings, even though I threatened you guys with it this week. I will give some shout outs to FPL. The strong FPL players amongst us, which actually, to be fair, Mikey is one of them, and he is at the top.
One of them. I'm the one.
Well, yeah, on this particular podcast, but not necessarily listening to the podcast. Because we were talking about before getting on the pod, we have some incredibly good FPL players in the Sam's Army podcast FPL league, which I'll get to in just a second. So Mikey's still in first, Sam's Army Council of Elders, Tommy second, Mitch third, I'm fourth, and then the ghost of Tyler Taryn / Darwin is in fifth. Now in the Discord Sickos League, we still got Dalton Kemper up top, followed by Tim Marks, Mikey Fowler moving into third place. Well done. Jeffrey Lerner is in fourth, and Carter Brock, who I think was at the top of the list for a while there, had an awful week, fell down into fifth. Now, in the podcast Wide League, where I'm in 330th place, not great. That's not great. Up top, Chris Deal. We got a new leader in the clubhouse at the moment, Basque Kings FC. Chris Deal is in first. Akshi A, Brown Coffee FC is in second. Luke Hart, NicoBreen.org is in fourth. 50 Shades of Eddie Gray, Paul Brewer in fourth. And Cooper Lyon, Franken Spurs in fifth. And actually, Dalton, shout out, he's actually tied.
Dalton is crushing it.
Tied with Cooper Lyon in fifth place. Yeah, so you're having your best season ever. What position are you overall in FPL?
Roughly 500,000.
It's so crazy how hard it is to like move up like into like the real top upper echelons of FPL. It's I don't know how those people do it, I'll be honest. All right, let's move on to halftime quickly. Now, Mikey, you want to give us a quick promo on Kick It?
Yeah, Kick It is a soccer tennis net that's made for bro time. Bro time, or if you're dating somebody who's athletic, or if you have friends that are girls that can play. It's just a small soccer tennis net that you use anywhere. It would have much rather been my game of choice than cornhole had we all had a Kick It net this weekend at Tyler's wedding. Use code SAM25 for 25% off, I think.
I don't know how much it's Sam25 though is the code for
Sam25. Do us a favor and support those guys. If you care about us in the slightest and you care about the amount of content we give you on the Discord and elsewhere, go support our partners at Kick It.
Tyler isn't even on, but we have the ghost of Tyler Terrence, Justin Furtado. It's been 45 minutes. It can't be halftime. Nobody gets more bad.
Me too. This is ridiculous.
All right, it was water break.
We would have beat you guys if we had played Kick It. Me and
100%.
Mikey beat you and Tommy in soccer tennis every day of the week.
Oh, well, listen, when we do have that meetup, we will be playing Kick It.
Yeah.
And we will get to the bottom of that because I feel like Tommy might be able to carry us in that one. Pop quiz. We'll keep this one really short, but so I said Sunderland is in fourth place at the moment. Where do the odds makers have them in terms of the odds to win the Premier League right now? Out of 20 teams, where do you think? Yes, to win the Premier League this season. What place do you think that they are in amongst the 20?
Ooh. Ninth.
Mikey?
Eighth.
fifth at the moment. They have the
Mm.
fifth best odds to
Wow.
win the Premier League this season. Sunderland. Whew.
At what?
So
Plus
that
1,800? Like that's
15,000.
oh fuck.
Yeah, Arsenal minus 167 is first, and then it jumps to Manchester City at plus 225, and
Okay.
only goes down from there. Now there's one Big Six team that is actually behind Sunderland. You guys want to guess?
United.
Mikey?
Spurs.
It's Spurs.
Yeah.
We're the only Big Six behind Sunderland at the moment.
Idiots.
Sadness. The sadness continues. All right. Unfortunately, we don't have Tyler. We don't have the hit it and quit it man himself, who's probably hit and quit it as we speak. But well, not quitting it. He's hitting it, not quitting it. U.S. men's national team this week. So we have games coming up. Everybody, get your mind right. Unfortunately, for this Saturday we play Paraguay, and Tuesday we play Uruguay. That's geographically cool. So what I'll point out about the roster, there's some interesting absences and some interesting notable conclusions. So on the absences side, we are missing a ton of guys. If you're expecting this to be like a best 11, let's straighten that out right now. This is not going to be anywhere close to that. So the guys we're missing are Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa, Matt Turner, Chris Richards, Timothy Weah, Malik Tillman, Jedi Robinson, Johnny Cardoso, and then a late scratch from Tyler Adams. I mean, that's basically a starting 11 right there. So, yeah, we're missing a bunch of guys. You know, a lot of them were injury related and legitimate injury. Some of them were not. Yunus Musa, I believe, was just a coach's decision. Matt Turner seems like it was pretty much a coach's decision. Chris Richards was injury in air quotes, but Poach and Glasner just had that pissing match.
I remember
last
Palace being a
break.
little upset about Richards coming back a little knocked up from games that didn't matter, according to them. All of these games matter when you're ramping up to a World Cup, and your starting center back needs minutes at an international level. I get where Palace is coming from because he's also their starting center back, but like I don't think that's a legit way to go about having an international player on your squad.
I like Palace. Glasner
Yeah.
seems like a great coach. I did not like how he handled that situation. Now Pulisic is kind of coming off of an injury. Obviously, he's been a little brittle in his career, so I kind of understand that. Weston McKennie, he just got a new coach, so I think the thought process is let's let him stay there and sort of solidify his spot in the lineup. Okay, I get it. Musa and Matt Turner are interesting. I really don't understand Matt Turner other than the fact that obviously he's not getting a ton of minutes. And now MLS is done. So I heard that he's over training with Crystal Palace, actually, at the moment. Yunus Musa, I mean, I know he hasn't had the best of seasons. I did just watch him play in Champions League and play well in Champions League like last week. So not having a spot for him in this lineup or in this roster, I can't say I love that.
That also feels like a minutes thing to me too, because when he was with Milan last season, he was getting very consistent minutes in multiple competitions, and now that he's moved, he needs to earn those minutes back. I don't get that one at all. Not bringing in Musa, he's one of your most versatile midfielders, and Pochettino knows that he needs like some engines in the midfield. And if you don't have, I guess Tyler Adams was a late scratch. But if you don't have all these important players, I really don't understand the Musa omission.
Yeah, and not just Tyler, but anyway, yes, yeah. I agree. My brain was going in 15 different directions. Yeah, so Paraguay and Uruguay, I'm disappointed. I think probably everybody is frustrated with the number of guys that are going to be missing from this window. I mean, we were told over and over that we're done messing around. Now we're going to hone in on our, best squad. And then to have basically half the squad not there. Frustrating. to say the least. And I get where Glasner's coming from with the Richards thing, and I assume Milan was probably behind the scenes saying things about Pulisic playing as much as he did. But yeah, it sucks. We only have a few games, and I know they don't matter, allegedly, but like we need guys to be playing. We need them to have minutes together in the World Cup or in the lead up to the World Cup. So it sucks. But I am interested to see Gio.
Yep.
Joe Scally got called in. Ricardo Pepi finally healthy enough to get called in. So there are some highlights here and some guys that I do want to see and look forward to hopefully seeing out there. So we'll see how this goes. Paraguay and Uruguay Saturday and Tuesday.
Reyna and Scally feel like a package deal at this point. Like, I don't think Reyna had anything to do with going to Gladbach, where his childhood best friend plays, but they are attached at the hip all the time, and I would love to see them play on the same side, or at least maybe usher in like a better chapter in Gio Reyna's U.S. men's national team career, because it feels like the last one has closed in maybe not the best way, and this is a little bit of a new beginning for him. He's back with the national team after months of not being with us, and I think he has a chance to reinvent himself here if he has kind of a comfort player, not speaking about this kid as if he's like a 6-year-old child at kindergarten, but like he's got his best friend on the team. I would love to see him take this opportunity and really reinvent what he looks like as a U.S. men's national team player.
I agree. I mean, the fact that Gio is getting called in it's an interesting move after him not getting called in all these months. So I really have nothing other to say other than we know what his ceiling is. We've seen him perform at an incredibly high level, and he's been given a lifeline, and I really hope he grabs it with both hands and makes that spot his own. Because I don't know if a lot of people would have gotten that same opportunity. All right. Let's move on to quickly shout out to the U17s who are taking care of business in the World Cup, the U17 World Cup at the moment. They won their first 2 games of the group stage. They have their third game, which I think is against Czechia, right? Czech Republic, whatever. Sure. I did see that they won their first 2 games. If they lose 1-0 in that third group stage game, somebody said in the Discord that they could actually fall into third place. Now, I do think they'd still advance given the way that the structure works in this World Cup.
6 points is enough to get you out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be. All right. Moving on. Stoppage time. Oh, God. It's been a rough couple weeks here, boys. We're starting with the Ivan Toney's best bets, where we will hit overtrain to start.
Yeah, now that we're getting held accountable on that Discord with people doing graphics and shit, I got a real one, and it's not a bit.
Good. See, this is what the Discord is keeping us. Keeping us on
before
point
you
here.
You should let me say it before you.
And it's not a bit is always a good thing to say after financial.
You see how quick he just falls for these things? It's unbelievable that it's truly unbelievable that after this much time you think I'm still a good liar and you're not just aware of how gullible you are. It's truly.
Well, 2 things can be true. And I will say this in my defense. I say this all the time. I only have about 40% of my brain listening to you guys when you're talking on this podcast.
Like, that's nice.
It's true. Like I'm trying to okay, what do we need to go? Where are we going next? Whose mic is scratchy right now? What are people saying in the Discord? Like, there's just so much going on in my brain.
I'm pretty sure it's yours. No,
I don't think me, so.
Probably. Oh, okay.
I think it's Mikey. Right. Hopefully not too bad. All right, we'll start with overtrain before we get to Mikey's non-bit call. But shout out to Eric, who is the one that's keeping us honest in the Discord with keeping our bets tracked, which unfortunately I had an 0-5 week a couple weeks ago, and I'm still trying to get out from underneath that. And you know what? International break's not exactly a great time to do it. I'm going to be honest with you. The pickings are mighty, mighty slim. But you know what? That's why we dig deep. That's why we come with nothing but winners here. So we're going to go Wednesday through Sunday, overtrain 5-a-side. These are all going over 2.5, except for Friday, which I will say it's over 3.5. So Wednesday, we're going to the Women's Champions League, Bayern and Arsenal. Thursday, UEFA World Cup qualifying. England is hosting Serbia. Friday, this is the over 3.5 game. Flint Town hosting TNS, the New Saints, in Wales. Saturday, we're going to the Women's A-League. Melbourne Victory is hosting Central Coast Mariners. And then Sunday, we had to dig real deep. There's about 4 games on. But we do have a Colombian Cup game between America de Cali and Atlético Nacional. And you know what? That's going over because something's got to go over that day, and I'm going to go with that one. Okay, Mikey, give us your not a bit overtrained pick of the week.
Yeah, we're gonna look at Friday, Germany away to Luxembourg, and for plus 140 on DraftKings, Florian Wirtz to anytime assist. He's going to be forced to play out of his slump. I debated between the minus 110 goal and the plus 140 assist, and I love the idea of him being force-fed the ball against a bad Luxembourg side for Germany, who is still in must-win mode. They're being hunted in that group. It's not Slovakia is on 9 points with them, Northern Ireland on 6. They need to take care of business against Luxembourg. Wirtz is going to play. Wirtz is going to be forced to make something happen. I'm going to go anytime assist plus 140.
I like that. Okay, that's good research. That's what we're looking for here. Not a bit. And I said it was an overtrained pick. It's not.
I love Florian
best
Wirtz.
bet pick. Yes, you're a big fan for Florian Wirtz. Mitch, what do you got? Ivan Tony's best.
I also love Florian Wirtz. I love to hate him. He's a fascinating player.
Oh.
Okay. Not a bit parlay. All of these games are on Thursday.
So
it's European qualifying.
6 minutes.
And you guys can't hear me right now, can you?
Now we can.
Oh,
no,
okay.
We're good.
All right.
We're good.
Nice. Okay. Not a bit parlay. All of these games are going to be European qualifying at the 2:45 slot on Thursday. I think everything goes minus 1.5. You've got Belgium minus 1.5 against Kazakhstan, France minus 1.5 against the Ukraine, and England minus 1.5 against Serbia. Put them all together, you're at plus 320, depending on your vote. Did you get any of that?
Ooh, going for heavy on the favorites there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to dig out of his hole.
Well,
got it all. All right.
Yeah.
He's going to defend his thesis, and then
I was like, no, it's going to take us too off topic. We're good. Let's go.
All right. Favorite segment, Mikey. You want to start us off on GOAWs?
Yeah, I have a good goer this week.
Not a bit.
It's Dua Lipa's publicist.
Oh, publicist. Okay. Mine was just her.
Why? Just because she got on like.
If you guys want to start tagging me in her Instagram store or posts, just so she knows that I'm giving her this shout out, you're welcome to.
Mm-hmm.
So she attended the River Boca match at the weekend, which is Goa enough of itself, but celebrities go to matches, right? She and her team were bloody brilliant enough to put her in just a basic World Cup champion Argentina kit, keep her out of it, keep her completely neutral. Both sides adore her. She's the only person in that stadium that had the love and admiration of both sides. Not a better place to be as an Argentinian than at the heart of that match. I think that's brilliant publicist move. And my go this week is Dua Lipa's publicist. I'm not horny. Dua Lipa's publicist, who's probably a normal person who does not look like Dua Lipa.
No bonk necessary.
Nope. I'm shouting out the publicist.
Can I community note you real quick?
If you want to tag him in all Dua Lipa stuff.
I did see a picture of her holding up a River jersey after the game. I think she collabed with River.
Didn't happen.
Oh, it didn't happen. Okay. So my go is Dua Lipa herself, just because of the 3-second clip of her in the sun. It's crazy that 3-second clip is actually 8 hours long.
Right. All right. GOAWs. I got some honorable mentions here. Marinakis and Nottingham Forest for donating £10,000 to a 61-year-old Forest fan who confronted a guy with a knife on a train near London. This guy, Stephen Crean is his name. He's a Forest fan, so he's probably the real GOAW here. But he basically, helped a bunch of people escape a knife attack on a train. And Marinakis and Forest were nice enough to donate to his cause. Shout out to Matt Schneebel on Instagram. Put me onto that one. Other honorable mention: Katie Stengel injury time, extra time, buzzer beater for Gotham to beat number 1 seed Kansas City Current in the playoffs. This is actually your second stoppage time playoff winner. She did it 2 years ago as well. So shout out to Sam Fam, Katie Stengel. And then last honorable mention, and I'll give my real one, and then Mitch, you can finish up. North Carolina FC ownership. Again, this is not a real GOA. This is an honorable mention. North Carolina FC ownership, whose decision to fold the team this offseason hit the news just days before their USL Championship quarterfinal versus Rhode Island. And I'm sure, guys learning that they suddenly had to find a new job, this winter had nothing to do with them getting upset at home 2-0 by Rhode Island in that game. So big fat thumbs up, boo at ownership for many things, but not least of which the timing of the news. Now, my actual GOA this week is Edgewater Castle FC. Now, if you've heard of them, that means you probably live in Chicago. If you haven't heard of them, probably means you don't live in Chicago. This is a local community team that announced today that they are going to take the step up and join USL2 on the men's side and USLW on the women's side. They're going to be the only Chicago proper, anyway, team, I believe, that's going to be playing in USL2 and USLW. This is the type of thing that this country needs a hell of a lot more of, right? Like, we have the true grassroots, the little kids, millions and millions of little kids playing soccer. We got that, in spades. Then we have MLS and more recently USL kind of filling out the top. We do not have the sort of every rung in between those two. We need a lot more of this. Obviously, it takes a lot of time, probably a lot of money, effort, and just passion for it. But shout out to Edgewater Castle, who are making that move and giving people, boys and girls, men and women, a place to actually go play pre-professionally and launch their career, if they so choose, into the upper levels. So it's great to see more teams doing this. Shout out to Edgewater Castle. If you live in Chicago, go check them out next season. All right, Mitch, last we heard from you, Dua Lipa was getting your going. Is that you sticking with that?
Yeah, that wasn't a bit. Dua Lipa is one of my goals.
Okay, fair enough.
I guess the other, I have a couple things I want to bring up, but I wouldn't call Luis Diaz's goal a Goa worthy. It's a hell of a goal, but I don't think it's a Goa worthy. And then I'll also bring up Messi kind of rolling up to the new camp last night at midnight and just kind of saying to a security guard, "Hey, can I get in there?" And the security guard initially goes no, and then he pulls his hood back. This is not actually how it happened. This is how I'm imagining it happened. But I think he pulled his hood back, and the security guard went, "Oh my god!" You can't write scripts like that. Lionel Messi pulls up to the new camp unannounced without telling the club at all. I guess the only firm that he spoke to was the construction company that was working on the new camp at the time. What a beautiful sentiment. This guy can't go wrong. But no,
that was genius.
Dua Lipa's a real go.
Number one, the millisecond that the construction company heard from him, they were telling everybody and their mother the fact that Leo Messi just contacted us.
But he wasn't swarmed. He was walking around the street. Granted, this is at midnight. There was actually a guy was making a TikTok with his girlfriend at the time. You saw this, where they were just
asked her to be his girlfriend.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. They were just being cute, and he has said, "Hey, will you be my girlfriend officially?" And Messi just kind of strolls by in the background, and the guy kind of turns around and does a double take too. What the fuck?
And he only had 2 security guys with him, which is interesting.
Only 2 is good for him. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Barcelona of all places, even at midnight, 3 a.m, I think people would. The text chain would be going off the chain, and everybody, flowing out of bars and out of bed, for that matter, just to go see him. All right, good shout, Adam F in the chat. Atalanta fired Juric today, exactly 1 year to the day since Roma fired him. Same date exactly. So that's probably a outside Goa honorable mention shout. Well done, Adam. All right, everybody. If you're not in Discord chat, get in it by getting the Sam's Army Patreon, $3.99 a month. Best money you'll ever spend. Best little soccer community you will ever be a part of. Mitch, Mikey, you guys are the best. It was great to see you in person. Tommy and Tyler, while I can't say it, tell them that right now. It was awesome to see them as well. And we'll be back bigger, better, maybe faster, stronger, and married, some of us, next week. See you guys there.